Hi Gemini, welcome to your mid-January 2019 love reading. It's Rena here, so just starting over again. And this is a slightly different spread than I normally use. The status of your love life, and this is for single people and people who are in relationships that may be a little bit rocky, is the Three of Pentacles, which is actually a card of stability. So, for instance, you may, if you're single, be looking for a serious relationship. Maybe it took you a long time, Gemini, to even want that. And that can be true, that it takes Gemini people longer than it would take a Cancer person to settle down. And it could be that you are interested in somebody who is an earth sign. The earth sign that you vibe best with is Virgo, because you're both mutable signs. So you actually have that square, that friction, which in some ways may be irritating, but in some ways may be very irresistible in a sense, where you have this real, the clash is, you know, the opposition, but there's like also this part of it that is very, maybe even like physical attraction. Now, the other earth signs are Taurus and Capricorn. So that person may be somebody you have your eye on or you've been talking to. If you are in a relationship, this could be this, you know, your partner. Now, if you're in a relationship with this person, it may not be that good, because I'm saying that you may feel, Gemini, that you don't have anything in common with this person, which is very common when you have physical attraction for somebody and that wears off and you're left with not much else. And or the Three of Pentacles can be about creating something on the physical level. And even a child, you know, you could say is a physical creation. So this could be that maybe you realize that you were together, that really you came together with this person because of that child. Whether, I mean, if you decided to end up moving in together, getting married, and that you really didn't have anything else in common except the fact that you are parents of this child. And so it's, even though the Three of Pentacles in the upright position is a positive card, depending on your circumstances, it could simply mean that this person is a totally different type of person than you and you're really not compatible. In the past position, we have the Two of Wands. So it's about making a choice, and I've been getting this card over and over again too, just like the Knight of Wands. But you see that the person's holding what looks to be a globe in his hand. So he may be thinking about leaving even his area and relocating. Now, the Three of, oh, that's another thing I should have mentioned. The Three of Pentacles is a card of co-workers. So there could be something going on either with you or with the person, if you're with somebody else who is possibly having an extra marital or the equivalent relationship with a co-worker, and maybe they're far away and you can't keep tabs on them. There's also, with the Two of Wands, there's a fire energy there. So in some cases, for Gemini, I think I got this recently for you. I never remember what I get for anybody, but I thought I got something for Gemini that had to do with somebody who was very stable and somebody like the Wands who is actually more your type. If the Two of Wands is talking about somebody from your past, or maybe somebody who has come into your life recently and is a threat to your marriage, This could be Aries, Leo, or Sagittarius. Sagittarius is your opposite sign, but all three of these are going to be, just looking at the sun signs, more compatible for you than, say, an earth sign individual, because the earth element is practical, grounded, and air is soaring up into the ether. And you are very flighty, and you may really like that quality of the earth to ground you and keep you, rooted in place. But it can almost degenerate into almost like a parental thing where they are shaking their heads constantly saying, oh, look at Gemini. Once again, they're off on a tangent. They're off doing their own thing. And it can really not feel like a relationship of equals after a while. So there may be like something inside of your mind that says, gosh, I feel so alive with this fire sign, but this earth sign in a strange way is the best thing that ever happened to me, because they're keeping me grounded. They're keeping me in place. So I'm not like a balloon, that's a helium balloon that's constantly floating if it's not tied down. The challenge is represented by the Hangman. This is in the upright position, but when it's a challenge card, I just read it. Maybe I should just like automatically flip the card over and read it as a reversed card. However, some cards that are upright are more negative than the reversed position. But the Hangman is about, in terms of what it represents needless, useless sacrifice to something. And typically, now let me just say, if you're single, this could mean in the challenge position that you may be tempted to try and one of two things: either try to force somebody's hand or be too detached from the situation. Actually, I think it's more likely that you're too detached. And, the Hangman card itself is about letting go and letting God. And I think that ultimately, this is something that more people need to really inject into their life. Because even in the New Age community, with the popularization of the law of attraction, some people, I think, have gotten into their heads that they can really control everything. And I don't see Gemini as that type of individual normally, but you are attracted to the thought realm. And so you may have like certain concepts or ideas that really appeal to you and that you kind of run on in your life, but that don't necessarily play out ultimately in terms of their usefulness overall. So in the case of the Hangman, if you're the type of person who thinks that if I just kind of like am detached, I'll get whatever I want. Sometimes you have to take the initiative. Sometimes you have to address issues. Sometimes it's escapism if you just think that things will work out for themselves. But some people, the Hangman is really a lifesaver because they've been trying to force an issue. But perhaps you're the opposite, where you're not being, you're being too passive. So I don't know if that makes sense, but that's what I'm thinking is the Hangman for some of you. Maybe you are not wanting to deal with something, so you're not really addressing it. And if this is in terms of, if this is like a marriage and there's somebody else that you're interested in, eventually you're going to have to confront your true feelings about a particular situation, like a marriage that you're in. And you may be more content with kind of running away. And when it is time to leave, just kind of disappearing, doing a disappearing act. And I would just, question that and, question that method. And instead say, what about if you simply address something head on and dealt with it? And also, too, I have to mention, especially if you have a strong Cancer, maybe Venus and or Mars in Cancer. The moon could be Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a water sign, or maybe even like a Taurus. And you are trying to make something work, even though there's a part of you that wants to move on. That could be a useless sacrifice. What's coming in is represented by the Ace of Cups. So this is new love coming into your life. Obviously, timelines are kind of askew here because we have other things going on, and this is just like an update type of reading. But I will say, Gemini, that maybe the problem is that the Hangman, if I'm reading it in a challenge type of position, is that you're indecisive. And Gemini is a dual sign. So you do tend to kind of see both sides of the issue, and maybe you're having a hard time choosing. Well, if you make a choice and you kind of like realize the truth of your relationship, and if you're single, realizing whether or not you want to settle down might be your particular issue, then you can move forward, and guess what? Love can present itself, and it's almost like on a silver platter, even though that's the universe's hand reaching out and offering you love. And so the universe offers you love when you make space for it. When you make space for it, when you're not bogged down with relationships that are past their expiration date. Some of them are. Sometimes you can work on things, but some people have tried over and over again, and for whatever reason, they cling to this relationship that is not serving them, not serving their partner, and yeah, so love can come in when you make space for it. And the outcome is the Knight of Wands. So there's that that individual. Now this is supposed to be Sagittarius. I am also going to say that I think it's Aries, but it's connected to Sag. And so that could be what is true for you. Speaking of Sag, Jupiter in Sagittarius until December. And this is your 7th house of committed partnership. So even if you're single, this could be the year. This could be the year that you meet the person that you're destined to settle down with. But again, you have to put yourself out there. You have to cut any kind of ties to a person that maybe at one time you had a good relationship or a decent relationship with, and those times have kind of, that ship has sailed, perhaps, and that it is what it is, right? Doesn't mean anybody is in the wrong. Just accept what is and move on. And anyway, I hope that you enjoyed this, Gemini. If you'd like a personalized love reading or any other type of reading, but my love readings are comprised primarily of looking at your natal chart, looking at the astrological information of another person, if applicable, and also doing a brief tarot spread. But I also do natal chart interpretations and all that stuff. So anyway, the link is below. I hope that you have a great rest of January. Bye.